All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Inside the Booth. I'm your host, Dan the Law. And tonight we have Lovett Ever After with us. What's up,
Good
Lovett?
evening. Doing great. It's a wonderful evening with the kids hanging
Yes,
out.
yes, it is. Kids are
So,
always hanging out.
oh yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so we're excited to talk about Transformers. I've
Yes,
seen many installments of this show. So, it's supposed to be
like,
Transformers 1.
yes. So, are you a fan of the Michael Bay Transformers?
I am actually.
You are. Okay, that's good.
Mhm.
Some people are not. Some people don't really care for Michael Bay
Mhm. Too
and the
many
way he does
explosions.
things. Yeah, yeah. Like I think the first one was cool because everybody was excited for that.
Mhm.
But then when he made like 20 more, everyone was like, "Yeah, it's kind of getting old," you know.
Pew 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 pew. It's like
Yeah.
JJ Abrams.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
So,
Um yeah. So I mean, if he did like a series, it would be different, you know. Um,
yeah.
the Michael Bay movies, if they were like cut up as like TV series, like a
Mhm.
cartoon, that'd be kind of neat. But it's not. I don't know. I think it's just the way the movies are
Mhm.
because there's not a lot of what would you call it? After the first couple, there's not a lot of creativity after that, you know.
Yeah, it's just the generic same thing over and over again.
Yeah,
Them fighting for the Allspark.
right.
Mhm.
So yeah, the spark in you and the
Yeah.
spark
And
in
some
me.
people are, like, iffy about Shia LaBeouf.
Yeah, Shia LaBeouf.
Shia LaBeouf, he will not divide us.
Yeah,
So,
actually, I I kind of like where Shia LaBeouf has been going lately, because he's definitely following Jesus now. So
yes. Yeah,
I
he had
kind
his
of
life changed.
he did,
Mhm.
which is kind of cool.
Absolutely.
Very
We always like, changed reformation of life.
yeah, definitely.
Resurrection.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So, yeah, this was the first time watching it for me as well as what, you 2?
Yep, first time for me
Yeah.
watching this. Transformers 1 with all
Yes.
the cool Transformers in it.
Yes. First thoughts. What were your first thoughts about it?
My first thoughts was I didn't know what I was getting into. I
Mhm.
wasn't a huge um I guess you could say I wasn't a huge fan of Transformers as a kid,
Mhm.
but I did watch the cartoon and I did play with the toys, like every kid did. Um but I wasn't too much into like the lore or like the storyline or anything.
Yeah.
So
Delve deep into it.
yeah, I didn't. Yeah, so this
Yeah,
this
neither
story.
did I. I just know the generic,
Yeah,
Cybertron, the 2 divisions of
right.
robots, and they're aliens, but metal, and they
Yep.
like
And
to be
Optimus Prime
cars
was
and
the good
planes.
guy. Megatron's the
Yeah.
bad guy.
Uh-huh.
You know, they definitely knew about that stuff. But
Yeah.
so yeah, for
Yeah.
I guess we can just talk about the plot too while we're at it. Um,
Mhm.
so I kind of enjoyed the storyline to this, to where they start out as like little guys,
Yeah,
friends, you
miners.
know.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, yeah. In the movie, they're minors, which I have no idea if that was a thing in the comic books or in the cartoon,
No, I
Um,
don't think it was.
but it's kind of cool that they put that in there,
Mhm.
and this, and then the what was Optimus Prime's name?
Orion Pax,
Oh yeah, Orion Pack.
original name, yeah.
So Orion Pax, he was curious, and he didn't think that life should be just mining for the rest of your life. So he goes and looks for
Information
trouble,
about the orb of
information. Yeah,
brotherhood. Is that what it's called?
the orb. Yeah, sure, the
Orb of
orb.
brotherhood.
The orb. Let's see here. It was Cybertron.
So he gets caught. He's always up to no good. Like he's trying to
Yeah,
like figure things out, but he gets himself in trouble
yeah,
by
he
doing
does.
so.
Yeah.
And then he brings along his friend D.
D16,
Yeah, D16, and D16
which
is like the
is,
reluctant friend, you know.
and
Oh,
he becomes Megatron in the end, but
yes,
it's
that's
the
I did
way.
not see that twist. There was another twist I did see, but that one
I saw it. I was
definitely
like,
got me
wait a minute,
surprised.
isn't this supposed to be Megatron? The guy,
Mhm.
the gray guy is supposed to be the bad guy. I thought,
Yeah. Mhm.
and it was a cool friendship, and then all of a sudden
Yeah.
he started like he kind of turned on the friendship kind of quickly there in the movie. I mean,
Yeah.
it was kind of gradual for the hatred for the main bad guy,
And
which was
Sentient
Sentinel.
Prime.
Yeah,
Sentinel.
Sentinel
Yeah.
Prime. And but then the anger toward his friend just
It
kind of
grew
made,
because he was mad
yeah,
at him for always luring him into these situations that he was not comfortable with. He
right,
would be
exactly.
oblivious, and the fact that his friend Orion just pulled the wool under his eyes, you know,
Yeah, yeah.
made
He
him
was like,
very resentful and bitter.
right. And
Yeah.
you know, I don't know, to be honest, if I was a friend, I'd be like, you know what, I'm glad you did this because now I see the truth. But this
Yeah.
guy, the D16, was like, I wish you didn't tell me anything. I wish I didn't know
Mhm.
nothing about this.
Yeah.
And oh, by the way, everybody, spoilers
Spoilers
ahead.
are ahead.
Uncle Micarita.
Mhm.
What's up? We did have somebody earlier. Not sure if the person's still here, but this was
Yes,
Naz.
Nosferatu.
One of your followers, I believe.
Yes, a
So
good friend.
yeah. So anyways, yeah, it was interesting how, he got bitter over just being told the truth, and he
Mhm.
wishes he didn't know anything, and he just did
Yeah.
his work, put his head down, and just do
Yeah.
his work till the day he died, basically. And that's
Yeah,
how
and
some
that's
people, that's how
yeah,
some people are in life.
this
They
is
don't
what I
want
was
to
about
know
to say.
anything. Yeah, they don't
Mhm.
want to know anything. They just want to do their work, grow old, and die, and not know nothing, because they just want to be, basically.
Yeah,
So
and I like
basically,
the
it's like, oh, go ahead.
I was just saying, like, the diet juxtapose of 2 of them, right? You have one that
Hmm.
accepts it and one that doesn't.
Yeah, exactly. And I like and it's weird because sometimes those type of people, they seem to live and survive and really don't have a purpose in life.
They
The
live in
way,
survival mode. Mhm.
yeah, yeah, and they don't really care to have a purpose in life, and they're just like sitting there being like, this is life. That's it.
I know.
Well, I'm like the other guy, Orion Pax, where I want to know what's going on.
I
And
do too.
if there's something that's going on that shouldn't be going on, I want my freedom. I want to be able to
Mhm.
be free to do what I was made to do.
Yeah. I
So
used to
this,
peruse the conspiracy websites like it was no one's business, so I definitely wanted to know truth.
yeah, of course, of course.
Got in trouble a couple times.
Oh yeah, by
Mhm.
who?
You never know.
Yeah.
The web board.
The
My IP gets banned.
well, that was everybody back in the especially during the pandemic times.
Yeah.
They didn't let nobody say anything. You
Mhm.
can't speak against this. Um,
Absolutely.
which is kind of this movie kind of reminds me of the pandemic
Yes, yeah,
times,
because
where it's like the
everybody's
guys like,
hypnotized and
yeah,
gaslit, you know?
yeah,
They
to
believe that
think
they're
that,
mining for a cause,
yeah,
and that they need to get the orb of leadership and brotherhood back so it can all the minerals can flow
yeah,
freely.
free again, yeah,
Yeah.
that flourish again, and then
Flourish again.
but then at the same time, Sentinel Prime is giving all the energy to the enemies, the
Energon.
bad guys,
Yeah.
yeah,
Mhm.
uh, and so he's like, "Rrr." So yeah, and then in the
I
end,
didn't like
obviously,
how they did not show too much about the war with the bug creatures, and at the end, they just
right,
kinda, like, let it go. It was just like a message like, "Hey, don't come back here," right? I wish there would
right,
have been
right,
more looming danger of that
yeah,
between the 2 as they fought. That would have
right.
been
Well,
cool.
that could be Transformers 2
Yeah.
instead of one,
Transformers 2.
TWO, Transformers TWO,
Yeah.
where they fight the bad guys away,
Mhm.
and then
Yeah. I
have
like the
another little
reveal of the
story.
High Guard too.
Hmm.
That's where the one of some of the baddies are hanging out.
Right, yeah, yeah, that's
Mhm.
funny.
Mhm.
And Starscream is
Yeah.
there,
Yeah, that's
and
Gary
as
Sinise.
who's that? Oh,
I'm
the
pretty sure that's who it is. Steve
Starscream,
Buscemi. Sorry, Steve
Steve Buscemi.
Buscemi.
Yeah, yeah,
Yes, he
yeah,
voiced it.
yeah.
It's the second time.
Perfect voice acting, to be honest with
Mhm.
you.
Yeah.
All right. Well, before we get into the acting thing, what do you give the plot? I give it a point. I did enjoy it.
I did. You had the whole thing of like all the founders of the
Hmm.
primes,
Right.
and then he gets to finally meet one of them. Big reveal about who the true baddie is, and
Yeah.
um, yeah, the plot goes really well. Like I said, it was weak in the point of the war between the bugs. I felt like
Right.
it could have been a little bit more hard on that. Um,
Yeah, it would have been nice, but it also would have taken away
what do you,
from
and
the
then you had the
storyline
Bumblebee
between.
character too
Right.
as the
That's true.
comedic relief. So,
Right.
yeah, I'd give it a point.
Do you? Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah, I agree with you with the bug
Mhm.
war thing. Should have showed a little bit more, but of course they didn't want. I don't think they wanted to take away from the relationship between D16 and or Orion Pax.
Yeah. Mhm.
Um, but
Yeah,
yeah,
it's like because it's like you can only go out so far before it gets convoluted.
yeah.
Mhm.
So I guess let's talk about acting since we were
Acting.
jumping into the acting part.
Oh, I was just, I'm
Steve
happy about
Buscemi.
Steve Buscemi. I love him.
Yeah, yeah.
I
He
love the
is a
guy.
funny guy. And
Mhm.
I think they picked the right voice for Starscream for him,
They did too.
for
Yeah.
sure, for sure.
Yeah,
Now,
some good people on the list of cast for sure.
yeah, there are. Um, before we get into naming everybody, now when this cartoon came, like when it first started coming out, and people were
Mhm.
talking about Chris Hemsworth as Optimus Prime, I was
Yeah.
skeptical. I was like, I don't know about this one. I don't
Yeah,
know.
I'm
Chris
still
Hemsworth
iffy about it.
doesn't have that, Optimus Prime voice.
Yes, that deep throttle. At
Hmm.
the end, he does, show it a little bit more,
He
but
does.
it's not see, with, um, Batman and
Hmm.
oh my god, I'm mind spacing his name, Christian Bale. He did
Okay,
really
right,
good with the voice. He carried it well, but yeah,
right.
Chris Hemsworth didn't do too much for me on that.
Oh, you didn't like it? I was pleasantly surprised.
I mean, yeah, he
Um,
did good. At the end, it was really nice how it was like a
right, right, right. Well, the
deeper
reason why I
payoff.
was pleasantly surprised is because the movie itself, Orion
Mhm.
Pax, he seems like a young adult, maybe older
Yeah.
teenager type of
Mhm.
person. So I think it fit well. Um, and
He
then
was
he just
fresh-faced, yeah, if you wanna say it like that.
yeah, and then like you said at the end when he became Optimus Prime, he started
Optimus
having the
Prime.
deeper voice and the you
Mhm.
know and the scratchiness to it. So
And the
I
bigger
think it
guns.
yeah, and the bigger guns, yeah, for sure. the the better
Oh.
of him, the better
Mhm.
of him. Um, I know, and I'm supposed to be like clicking on pictures while we talk about this, but
When I
I
think
haven't
of
been.
when I was listening to Chris Hemsworth and Scarlett Johansson, all I could think of is Avengers sometimes.
Yes,
Just
yeah.
them talking, and I'm like, "I
Scarlett
can't get that
Johansson
out of my head."
was the pink lady. I don't know if I have a picture of her.
Alita 1?
Yep, Alita One.
Alita 1,
I don't
which
have a
was not
good
in the
picture, but
original series.
on the thumbnail, she's
Yeah.
on it. So there you
Yeah,
go.
she's not an original.
She is. She is. She was the skating one. Psh, psh, psh. You don't remember?
In the 80s?
I believe so. Um,
Oh,
if not, she came a little bit later, but it wasn't
okay.
much later. It wasn't much later, I don't believe. Um, somebody saying hello to you again,
Yay.
Jenna
Hey, Jana.
Banana, and then
Yeah, Cinevere's Fish. Doing
yeah,
good. Having a great night.
oh yeah, oh yeah. But yeah, I
Talking
was
about Transformers.
Transformers. That's right,
Transforming.
not transgendering. Sorry, I had to put it in there. I had to
You
say it. I had to say it.
you got
Um,
him.
yeah, I did.
Mhm.
Now, what was interesting to me was the design of the people because this
Mhm.
was supposed to be before they came to Earth and be able to
Yeah.
transform into, vehicles and stuff such. Um, they still kind of transform into vehicles and they still have the color schemes, which was
They do have
interesting
the
to me.
color schemes, yeah.
It was
I
very interesting to me that way.
Yeah, I
I
like
don't know what.
how they do the upgrades as they get their
Hmm.
cores back and that he
Hmm.
ascends to primehood, as you wanna
Right,
call it.
right.
So, yeah,
Mm,
it was, good acting overall. I think they played their parts, and Bumblebee was pretty funny about his little
right.
friends down there in his dungeon.
Yeah, Keegan
Ah,
Michael K
Peel.
was Bumblebee.
Peel. Mhm. Yeah. And then you had Lawrence Fishburne as
Yeah.
Alphatron. John Hamm as Sentinel Prime, and then you have
Right.
Scarlet, of course. And Brian Tyree Henry, which I like him as an actor. He was D16, which was Megatron.
Yes, yes. Which was he
Mhm.
was cool. He did a good job.
He was so Bumblebee was trapped like 50 levels down.
Right,
Apparently, he
right.
was
They were
too good
like,
at his
I
job, and
only
he kept
thought there
getting
was only four.
transferred.
Yeah, I thought there was only 40 levels. Oh yeah, well no, there's more.
No, yeah, more there's more for us, but yeah, so he is just watching all this scrap metal come down and get melted. That's his job. And then
Yeah,
he's got these
just a
little and he picks up metal pieces that he still finds valuable. So, it's pretty funny.
well,
But they have him as comedic relief because he talks too much, right? So when
right,
they get
right, right.
kidnapped by the high guard, they have to duct tape his mouth because he's, like, so excited. He's like, "Oh my god, these the original, like,
Right.
Defender," and they're like, "Shut up." Like
Yeah, right. Right. It's funny. And
Yeah.
what else is funny about that is that, everybody knows that Bumblebee, like
Mhm.
even in the movies, he loses his voice
He
box.
does, yeah.
And
Do you think
on
Prime did
Earth,
it? He's like,
I don't know. I
Optimus
don't
is
know
like,
who
"I
would have
don't need
done
you
it, but
talking."
yeah. I don't know who would have done it, but
Mhm.
it's funny because like in this was before the wars or the fights where he loses
Mhm.
his voice box, you know. So
Mhm.
it's kind of cool to see, to be honest.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely, I'll give the acting a point just because I thought it was well done,
Yeah,
and
and
they
they
did.
sold the friendship between the 2 very well, and then the
Yes,
eventual breakdown of it. You know, you see them turning or Megatron turning against them, and he's noticing it. He's like, "You look at me differently."
right.
So yeah. Yeah, I
So
think they did really good with the acting. Not superb or stellar, but it was enjoyable.
yeah, for
I'll give it
sure.
a point.
Yeah, well, yeah. All
Yeah.
right, all right. Oh man. Um, like I said, pleasantly surprised about all
Mhm.
of it. You know, it was definitely, you know, like it's not a movie that I would have just watched on my own
Mhm.
and would
I
have been
always
like,
lure
oh
you into
yeah,
these
yeah,
things.
yeah, yeah, and would have been like, oh, this is a great movie.
It's
This is
Mouse
something I
Hunt.
was
It'll be
interested in.
awesome.
Yeah, and I know we're a review, you know, channel, but at the same time, it's like I don't really like to watch things I'm not interested in. You
Mhm.
know, but yeah, it it was definitely better than I thought. Um,
Yes. I was pleasantly surprised.
um,
And you know how it is with origin stories of how everything starts. It can get really dicey because you
hmm
can trample on what is actual lore. So,
yeah,
I think they navigated it very well.
right.
Except for the
Yes,
whole
yes, it is Transformers 50 Shades,
yeah.
50 tunnels under,
50
50
tunnels
dungeons.
of
That's what it's
50 tunnels of
Transformers.
metal.
Yeah, Transformers 50 dungeons under. That's
Yeah.
what we'll call it. 50
Mhm.
dungeons under. That's funny. It's no longer
Transform.
one.
Stay tuned for Transformers 2.
Yeah, TWO. 60 dungeons under.
Mhm.
um, all right, so next will be cinematography,
Cinematography.
which is the obviously for this would be the CGI,
Yes. Yeah,
the
very
animation.
heavy
Yep.
CGI
Yeah.
graphics.
Yeah.
No
Animated.
cartoon.
Yeah,
Not like
it's not really
behind me,
cartoony. Yeah, not like
you
behind
know?
you.
Yeah.
I was it was nice to be able to see that they kind of stuck with some of the same, like in the cartoon,
Yes.
you know, same
Mhm.
kind of the
Yeah, they
same
kept, like,
shapes
the red and just the way that,
and the colors. Yep.
the color scheme. Mhm. And that was so crazy because he was a fan of one of the primes, and that was
Mm-hmm.
one of the symbols,
Sim-
right? And he
right.
gets
Mm,
it etched
mm,
on him as, like, a badge of shame, like the Scarlet Letter in a way, right?
right.
Um,
Right.
so he
That's
takes that and
right.
becomes Megatron.
Yes. And it's funny
It's
because
very kiddie,
they
compared to Michael Bay.
yeah, of course. And
Very simple.
if you look on D16, the one who turns into Megatron,
Mhm.
um Orin Pax puts the sticker on his shoulder there, you know,
Yes,
on his
of one of the original primes.
yep. And if you look at the cartoon, Optimus Prime has the symbol on his shoulder in the same spot. I think they
But
did
it's
that on
the
purpose.
Autobot.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yep. So
Interesting.
isn't that kind of it's like a callback or something, you know, like
Yeah,
a
eventually it
hey.
gets put on in the middle of Megatron and then gets etched
Yep.
in.
Yep.
Then when he
And then
transforms, it goes away, which I wish it wouldn't have.
yeah, it would have been cool to to still
Mm.
see the etching there and maybe have it
Mhm.
glowing or something, you know.
Yeah. Like his eyes changing at the end, and he's like, "I'm no
Yeah.
longer saving you."
Yeah, right. Yeah, it turned
Just the
red.
total evil
Yeah,
takeover. His
from
friend's no longer there. you
Yeah,
know?
from yellow to red.
His
Now,
buddy's
I
gone.
didn't notice, was his eyes always yellow, or were they blue at first and then they started turning yellow?
No, they were like a yellow amber color.
Okay,
Mhm.
okay. It
And
would have
then
been
they
kinda cool to
slowly
see, yeah,
you could
I
see
think it
it
would have been
eventually,
cool.
like, slowly over time changing in color.
Right. I think it
Mhm.
would have been cool to see it more blue in the beginning and then kinda
Ah.
turn into the amber color and then
Mhm.
red, like, oh, okay, he's done being the nice guy.
Yeah.
So, oh, here's a scene. This was a cool scene.
Yeah, so they find the great battle of all the primes. They were
Yeah,
there to go, like
which would have been cool to see more of,
mhm.
like that battle or something instead of just being talked
Yeah.
about.
Well, you get a flashback of it
Right. Hey, Daniel.
by Lawrence Fishburne. You know, he shows you a flashback of, like, they're going there to,
Hmm.
um, ambush these high leaders of the bug army, of the bug aliens, but in
Right.
turn, they're actually being ambushed by a betrayer, so
Yeah. Exactly.
very convoluted.
Now here's his red
And a lot
eyes.
of the people are missing their,
Oh.
core, and so they can't transform, so that's how
Yeah.
Sentinel Prime is able to keep everybody in place and no longer, like, striving to be the best,
Right.
as what
Exactly.
Orion wanted to be.
Right.
Mhm.
And in the I think I like the CGI. Very
Yeah.
a lot of it is vibrant colors. And then
Mhm.
some of it is like very dirty colors too. So I think they did a good job mixing between what is almost like a real life situation
Mhm.
there. So
Yeah. But the CG was simple, I'm gonna tell you that, because an
hmm
aspect of Michael Bay's when they transformed all of these little small pieces and intricates that you wouldn't
hmm
normally notice were happening, so, I'm
right,
just gonna
right.
give half a point to,
Oh,
uh,
okay. You're only
yeah,
giving a half a
to
point to
mhm.
cinematography.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna give it a full point because I enjoyed the background scenes and
Mhm.
the way they transformed because that was more of like how they did it in the cartoons.
Yes, that is
Um,
true.
Michael Bay's was a little over the top, I thought.
I
So,
like that.
did you like it? You like
Way
it when it's
over.
a little over the top, a little over the top,
Yeah.
a little bit more.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was fun though. It was a great, interesting time. So,
Mhm.
love it. You're stinging on the points.
I am not.
Very gracious.
Yes, I'm a
Um,
gracious host.
next is the music, the score.
Music. I don't remember it. A
Oh
good thing.
no, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I enjoyed it. Now it's not
Mhm.
like one of those Star Wars memorable music,
Mhm.
but it does have a good bass line to it. It does have a good,
Yeah.
setup music to it. Um,
Yeah. You
I
gotta think this is a 2024 movie, so
yeah,
music these days is not really that all that great.
right. It's not. There's
So
no right. They try to do the epic thing, but it's more of like
mhm.
a digitalized
Mhm.
orchestra other than
Yeah.
and it's not like in Star Wars or um like Gladiator. The orchestra was a big
Mhm.
orchestra. They even have behind
Oh,
the
Lord of the
scenes with that
Rings
stuff.
too? I
Yeah, or Lord of
mean,
the Rings. Yeah, that's
so
so true. So
mhm.
it's not a big orchestra type of thing. It sounds a little bit more synthetic than it does
Yeah.
organic, but
Mhm.
I think they did a decent job with the music.
Well, I
I,
wasn't appalled, and I didn't remember it in a bad way, so that's
mhm,
always a plus.
right, right.
It went
Um,
in line. Didn't
yeah,
stand
that's
out.
true. Um,
So
now there was some rap music in there sometimes, so
yeah, popping
that's
beats.
kind of I didn't. I wasn't really too fond of that, but of
Yeah.
course that that tells you how old I am
You're
compared
not
to
down with throwing those jams.
sometimes, but then there's other times it's just not, it just doesn't fit,
Mhm. Like the Teenage Ninja Mutant Mayhem movie, like that
Right.
the music just it did not fit whatsoever.
No, that
They
one
were
was
just
bad.
trying way too hard with, like, throwing out whatever they were doing. I
Yeah,
don't know. I
whatever
can't think
beats.
right now.
So I'm gonna give the music probably a half a point because
The
it
same
wasn't like
here.
terrible, but it wasn't
Mhm.
like memorable either.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, it was good. It just wasn't
Mhm.
like my type of good. I would rather hear like
Yeah.
a lot of orchestrated music. But of course, this movie was not
They
really.
did throw in, like, the theme song, but it was,
They did, yeah,
synthesized.
right. Well,
I
the
do
theme
remember
song
that.
wasn't. Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
So yeah, probably
Yeah,
just a half a point
half a point for me.
for me too.
Mhm.
All right.
Commercial break?
Commercial break. Sure, we could do a little
Sure. Do
quick
a commercial
commercial
break.
break, everybody.
Mhm.
Um, if you like what you see here, well, let me just tell you what we do here.
What is this place? What is it that you do here? Merchandising. Merchandising, merchandising, where the real money from the movie is made.
Oh, it's beautiful.
So beautiful.
It is beautiful. If you like what we do here at Inside the Booth, and you like watching our videos, and you like Lovett coming on, and you like looking at me, go ahead
With
and
your Captain Hook mustache.
that's right, with my Captain Hook mustache. Go ahead and follow us, subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, ding the bell, and be notified for other
Hmm.
videos that we post. Uh, Also, I also have another host, my brother, and then sometimes we have other hosts that come on or guests, and
Ron.
we have a good time and we have
Yeah.
fun. So go ahead and stay tuned. Subscribe to that channel. And if you do want to get some of our merchandise, go ahead and check that out. www.insidetheboothtv.com/shop and get some merchandise. It's fun. It's good
Always
stuff.
keeps the channel going.
That's right. It keeps us all moving and grooving. We also have a Patreon page and a membership here on YouTube. If you decide you want to donate monthly or whatever. So, yeah, that's it. Commercial over.
Oh, back to the show.
Back to the show. So we already talked about music. So yeah, so last but not least, I have a little background music playing right now.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, you can't hear it. I'm
Yeah,
so
you're lucky.
I usually turn it off, but I'll turn it off. I don't know why I kept it on. It's goofy.
So this movie was actually in writing. It started in writing 2015, right after Age of Extinction, because they
Oh,
had a
really?
success, yes, with it.
Okay.
So
I
it's
didn't
been
know that.
in the writing room ever since then, and finally it got repicked back up and made into this film.
Interesting.
The more you
Interesting.
know. Mhm.
That's right. Because in 2023 they had Transformers: The Rise of the Dinosaur Animals or
Yeah,
something
I
like
did
that.
not see that.
I didn't see that one either. And that's more of like a Michael Bay style, right?
Mhm.
Did Michael Bay
I
direct that
remember
one?
Edge of Extinction, but I don't remember anything after that. It just,
Yeah, I
like,
don't
kinda
know.
fell off.
Yeah, well, some people do.
You fall right off that wagon.
That's right.
You
That's
get
right.
right back on.
Well, it's kind of like, honestly, it's kind of like Star Wars. When you make so
Yeah.
many of them, it's like, yeah, I'm Star Wars out or I'm Transformers out, and it's time to just relax from that type of stuff. Mark,
Yes.
Mr. Gaming. Trying to view this through kids' eyes. Yes, I can see the appeal, but for me, it was just a bit too slapstick. The biggest issues was how fast Megatron went from "You're my pal" to "You must die." Yeah, like
Yes.
I did
We
mention
agree.
that earlier. Yep, I did mention
Mhm.
that earlier. How there wasn't enough time in between for him to
Yeah,
like
you didn't have the
change
build
and
up of the deep friendship bond. Like, it was like they were already bonded and friends. So, and they kind of like threw it in at the end where it showed them meeting for the first time and how they
yeah, yeah,
became friends. But yeah, I wish they would have developed more on that.
right. Or like I wish they would have showed D16 a little bit more upset with Oron by dragging him into things. They
Into
showed it
these
a little bit.
situations.
Yeah, yeah, into the
Yeah,
situation. They showed a little bit, but it was like it was just a
not
little bit,
enough.
and then it was like, brushed away. Like, okay,
Yeah,
you made me do this. I didn't like
I'm
it,
all
but
right with
look what
it.
happened. Yeah, we're
Yeah,
okay now. Yeah, he
yeah.
should have they should have showed a little bit of like I don't know, I guess
Division,
like a little what is it when you hold a little grudge, like a little grudge
bitterness,
there, a little bitterness,
resentment,
like resentment. That's what I'm looking for.
resentment.
Showed him having a little resentment throughout the whole thing, and
Mhm.
like, why do you keep doing this to me, you know? I mean, they kind of showed it to where he explained to him, why'd you have to do this? I wish I didn't see nothing. I wish
Mhm.
just go back and just do whatever.
Put my head in the sand.
And we talked about that earlier too, about him
Mhm.
just wishing that he didn't know anything.
Yeah. It's like with
Well,
the Matrix, there are people who are fine, and
mhm.
there's those that wanna go back and
Yeah,
be a
exactly.
sheep
Just
again, go
yeah,
back and being
and not
blind.
know that. Yep, and not know that it's there because they were living a
Mhm.
decent life.
Yes, even though it's not even paradise because they're
Mhm.
struggling,
Yeah,
they
yeah,
don't have
exactly.
the ability to transform,
Hmm.
and they're treated with bread and circus.
Yeah,
It's kinda like the
exactly.
Roman Empire.
Yeah, right.
Mhm.
Exactly. You took that sip, and I'm looking for my cup that I filled up. I forgot to bring it
Uh-oh.
in with.
Did
I
the mouse
forgot to bring it
drink
in
it?
here. Yep, Mouse is gonna drink it now. Jeez. Uh,
You have to rewatch Mouse Hunt.
yeah, there you go. That's funny. Um, yeah, but I was gonna get into, since we're already kind of talking about it, get into
Mhm.
allegory.
Allegory.
Yeah.
Yeah, I felt like there
And
was multiple allegories in this
oh
film.
yeah, yeah,
Did
for
you?
sure, for sure. Like you know, identity crisis type of thing.
Mhm.
Not living to your full potential. There's a lot of things in there that definitely you could even look at this as more of like a creator standpoint of God and Jesus. God created the
Mhm.
earth. Jesus, Optimus Prime is almost like a Jesus character toward the end, where he
Mhm.
sacrifices himself to save who was it, the bad guy,
Sentinel. Yeah.
Sentinel, but because he's saying this isn't the way to do things. You shouldn't just
Mhm.
kill him. We
Yeah.
should, and it's almost like today, almost like put the guy on trial, put him in jail for
Yes.
life,
Justice.
not just kill him because you're mad,
Mhm.
that you found all this truth out. Um,
Yeah. And some people do react differently and sometimes
mhm.
violently, to finding out that they were hoodwinked for so long. So,
Yeah, yeah, this is
you
true
you also
too.
have, like, the fall. 'Cause you have Pride with Sentinel.
Hmm.
He was the
Yep,
assistant, and he thought he was better. He deserved to be given
yep. So he was more
golden
like a
medal
Lucifer
spoons.
style. Yep, he was more like a
Oh, hey
Lucifer.
there, Phil.
Fell T. Well,
Yay, good to
scattered
see you.
night.
Yeah, scattered around.
That's right.
Thank you.
Yes. Mr. Lawtimus
Yeah.
Prime.
So you had the
I get it.
fall of
Lovett,
him betraying the leaders that were in place, so
yeah,
him causing a lie.
yeah, exactly.
Mhm.
And then him hiding the lie, just giving
Mhm.
up, giving the enemy
Energon.
the energy that was meant for his people.
Yes.
And
He's slowly killing them all, but he
yeah,
wants the power so much
for
that it won't mind.
yeah, exactly. So
Yeah.
he'll lie about things so that they believe him, so that he can
Yeah.
be in power the way
Mhm.
apparently the energy people thought made him think that he would be,
Yeah.
even though he was still bowing down to somebody else.
Yes, exactly. They
So,
idolized, and that's
hmm
false worship. What they
yeah,
were doing is they were idolizing somebody,
hmm
thinking they were their freedom, but in actuality, it was their slavery.
yeah, exactly. So, yeah, there's a lot of allegories in here, which
Hmm.
very cool, very
So I
nice.
will give it a point for being well rounded.
Yeah, I will give it a point too. I saw this film in theaters. It was better than I thought it was. Yeah, exactly what we were saying. We thought it was better than It was better than we thought it was going to be because we didn't have one. We didn't have high expectations. Two, I think the allegories and the storyline kind of helped with it. In my opinion, it helps because I like a nice moral sense in a story.
Yes, of right and wrong.
Hmm
Hmm.
And they didn't make D16 seem like, oh, you need to be like how Disney does. You need to be sympathetic for the bad
Oh
guy.
yeah, anti-hero
Yeah, yeah,
archetype type. Hmm.
yeah. So I enjoyed that where he was just like he turns bad, and Optimus Prime is like, we were friends, but it's time to get out of here. Go. Don't come around.
Don't come knocking around here no more.
Yeah, don't come back and take your tag team of flying friends with you.
Yeah, yeah. So then it's like the fall of Satan, parting ways.
Hmm Exactly. So that was
Hmm.
cool. Did you know that which was interesting to me, was that one of the people who made this movie happen was Hasbro, and Hasbro is a toy company.
Yes, they are.
And they are the toy company that made a lot of these older toys for us
Hmm.
older people when we were kids. There's
Yeah,
Hasbro, and and now they're remaking all them cool toys.
but they're
And
not as durable or as awesome.
well, yeah, I mean, and if
Not
they
as
are,
awesome.
they're a little bit more expensive.
They are.
So yeah, but yeah, that was interesting to me to see that in the beginning of the beginning credits, and I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. Or you know how they do the little logos in the beginning of who like made the movie, like you have
Hmm.
like for Disney, obviously it's going to be Disney, and
Yeah.
you get the bing bing bing, and then for like Warner Brothers, you get the sign. This one had
Yeah.
several. This had several of them.
Yeah,
So
because the
several
IP is
different.
owned by probably
Mhm.
several
Yeah,
companies.
yeah, exactly, and
Hmm.
obviously several people help produce the movie too. So it's not just one thing. Um, what does that say? So Lovett is a Decepticon knight. Oh,
I am.
that's
I'm
funny.
Lovett Con.
Lovett Con. I'm the law to Miss Prime. That's so funny. But yeah, so
Yeah. So let's tally it up. What did we get?
oh yes,
Oh, I
yes.
did
What
a
did we
point
get?
for allegory. What did you do?
Yes, I did a point
Yeah.
also.
Okay. So let's tally it up. I'm guessing 6.5, 7 out of 10.
All right. Well,
Let's find out.
good guess, but it was a 8.5. 8.5 out of 10.
Pleasantly surprised.
Pleasantly surprised.
Yes,
Let's
like
see
I
here.
said, yeah, it was enjoyable. I wasn't sighing or rolling my eyes while watching this film. So,
Right.
yes, it's worth a watch. But if you're in a die-in-the-wool Transformer fan and every little thing makes you upset, then I probably you wouldn't want to watch this.
Yeah, because like I said before, I don't know what the lore is like in the Transformers world. This may not have followed any lore, and it was just like a brand new story, or maybe they did throw in a little lore. I don't know.
Yeah.
But and I could have researched it, but I chose not to.
Lazy. I could have
Lazy
researched
guy.
it. I'm a lazy guest too.
Yeah. You lazy
I just show up.
Nah, that's all right. I don't think no one will care. But we're reviewing this as a movie, not a lore situation,
Yeah, I'd love to hear everybody's thoughts about this film if you've seen it. If you have any pet peeves or anything, let us know.
Yeah, put it in the description below. Leave some comments. And yeah.
Comment about Dan's beard. I mean, mustache.
Mustache. Tell me what you think about my mustache. I have been trying to go live on TikTok lately, so that's a little fun.
You need to link your TikTok in the the description stuff.
Yeah, I think I will.
Yeah, I need to update that.
Yeah, TikTok is it's kind of fun. It's cool. I do like a lot of the
you're Chinese
cosplay
spy
stuff. Yeah. Chinese spy, right? Finally someone who didn't
go to Vegas. No, I couldn't this year.
No.
Not this year. Maybe one day in the future.
I didn't go to Vegas. I don't go to Vegas either, guys.
Yeah. Be more like Orlando.
Right. I like Orlando.
Yeah.
It's been a while since I've been, but would love to go. I would like to, So our TikTok here is the same, Inside the Booth TikTok is the same as here. So if you want to check out some of my TikTok, go ahead. I go live randomly. I don't have like set times like I do on YouTube. But I have done like a Captain Hook cosplay on TikTok, and I did a Ghostbuster cosplay on TikTok. It seems like people like that kind of stuff. And then you got the I was kind of joking around to be like one of those NPCs on TikTok where they just kind of stand there and kind of wave back and forth like in a video game. Then every time someone gives you something, you move around and go, "Ooh, it's nice," and then you go back. I don't know. I think it's funny but dumb at the same time, The opening of Bumblebee spoiled us and set the bar too high, and people wanted more. When they saw this film, a lot of people were put off because it was stepped down visually and visually
and tonally. Yeah, as I said, the CGI with them is very simple.
Right. That's why you only gave it a half a point.
Yeah, so. Very not as intricate, but it's like they were being a little kiddie with the drawings. It's like it was for Nickelodeon almost. I think that was one of the people that showed up in the credits. I'm not quite sure though.
Yeah. Did I see the after credit scenes? Yes, the one in the middle, anyways, where he like goes, hey, he goes back down to
I got knives.
50 dungeons under, and he goes, hey guys, I got knives, and he cuts their head, like takes their heads off, and they're like, just like fake, not real robot things. It was funny. I liked it. I enjoyed it. Without y'all, I'd had to think what I'd watched before. Exactly. Yeah, so I guess that's the review tonight, guys. If
Mhm.
you enjoy, like I said, if you enjoy what we do, what you like, if you liked it here, if you liked seeing us, Lovett comes on once a month, so you'll see her once a month.
Yeah,
Which is
just like the
fun.
moon cycle. I'm
That's
usually not mad.
right. Nope. And we also do the review show at the end, the last Tuesday of every month, which is a bunch of Star Wars prop maker guys that come on, and we all just chit chat and have fun and
Mhm.
talk about dumb stuff and movies and what we like and what we don't like. And a lot of times we talk about Star Wars, but not like,
Yeah.
you know. So yeah.
Like the usual nerds.
Yeah, like usual nerd stuff. And then sometimes I go on by myself on Tuesdays, and sometimes I have guests or I have people I want to interview. So a
Mhm.
lot of fun. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel, and check us out every Tuesday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Mhm.
And then sometimes I post anonymously with videos with me and my brother in it. So those are fun too. They're fun to watch, and
Yeah,
those
they
are
are.
usually shorter than a live show. So yeah, and that's it, everybody.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching us. Thanks for coming in and stopping by and
Mhm.
saying hello and talking, and we enjoy the talks.
Yes, we do. Thank you everyone for stopping by. Till next time.
Hey,
Bye.
bye. Thanks for
Bye.
watching.
See you later.
That's right. Boop, 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 boop.